Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. This is my 290th video that I've published to YouTube, and I wanted to get away just a little bit from talking about trading and how you make such and such a move in order to increase your profitability, because I think there's something that's far more important than that. And I'd ask that if you watched some of my videos before, that you just watch this one to the end. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, give me a shot here and then go back and see some of the other ones to balance out this one. Look, don't whine. Just keep trading with no fear. Have faith in your trading plan and your metrics, and don't whine about your losses. Just keep trading with no fear, because in the end, you'll come out just fine. But the key is, if you haven't started trading yet, start trading now. And if you're trading but not successful, or as successful as you'd like to be, keep trading. Let me take a few minutes of your time and get into a little bit more detail on this stuff. Well, I wanted to get a cup of coffee first before I got into this. But I've got a marvelous quote from the movie Money Never Sleeps, Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps. Gordon Gekko says this: "Hey, stay positive, pal. Most people, they lose, they whine, and they quit. But you got to be there for the turns. Everybody's got good luck, everybody's got bad luck. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts. It's like the first grade, Jerry. Nobody likes a crybaby." I don't mean to be sarcastic about it, but I've had quite a few emails over the last few years from folks struggling to either get started with their trading, or they're trading and they're just not getting it. It's just not hitting it for them. And so that's the purpose of this video, to try to discuss those aspects. It's about 8 below out right now. It's really cold. We're going to go in and sit by the by the wood stove. All right, another fireside chat. Look, if trading was easy, then everybody'd be doing it, and they'd all be making $1 million. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But it is simple. And there's the difference that I think most folks getting into trading, or are thinking about getting into trading, maybe 6 months experience, and maybe you've been cranking away at it 2 years, and you don't feel comfortable with it. How do you know when you feel comfortable about your trading? Well, how do you know when you feel comfortable about driving a car? You don't sit there watching everybody else drive the car. You don't ask other people what techniques they use to make left-hand turns. You don't ask other people how much they slow down before they come up to a red light or a stop sign. You make those decisions on your own, and you get better at it, and you have enough rules to prevent you from ramming into somebody and killing somebody or yourself, and you gradually become a better driver to the point where you can carry on a conversation with someone else in the car, you can listen to some music, you can appreciate the beauty of the scenery as it goes by outside. That's when you're comfortable driving. It doesn't happen overnight. There's nothing difficult about it. There's nothing difficult about learning how to drive. It's simple. Just get in the car and drive. What are you going to do? Sit in the classroom and watch movies of other people driving? And yet, isn't that what so many of us do? I mean, I did that when I started. If you would go back to my About page, or what my bio is: a bachelor's in physics, almost a minor in math, 40 years of investment in real estate, 33 years as a senior software engineer, writing business applications, over 50 years in the martial arts. You know, I've been around. I've seen a lot of things, and I got into currency trading and flatlined. I got into it originally as an academic exercise. I enjoyed it. I was doing real estate at the time. I had plenty to keep me busy. I was managing my real estate and working as a software engineer. And I didn't retire from software engineering until 2015. I got interested in the currency markets in 2007 and wrote computer simulation analysis programs against them and read all kinds of books and watched videos and all that stuff. But it was more, I enjoyed it. I enjoy the financial markets, and so I wanted to check it out and see what was going on. But I wasn't trading. I wasn't reading books to trade. I was reading books to see if I could write the simulation applications that would do all that. And simulations have nothing to do with real trading. I'll be the first one to tell you that. When I finally did decide, well, this is pretty interesting stuff. I began to sell off my real estate portfolio. Like I said, I had retired in 2015. We moved into this beautiful 1775 antique Cape in 2017. That's when I really began to get serious about the trading. Before that, I had started out with a mini lot, couple of $1,000, and lost that. I thought, well, you know, and before that I had done a lot of studying about trading. I watched all the videos. You've seen my library with all the books on finance and money management and trading. I thought, well, you know, I just did a couple of things wrong. This is my first time live trading an account, and I blew it. So I put another couple of $1,000 in, and man, that just lost. And I thought, isn't that strange? I must not have enough education. You've heard me say this before in a lot of videos that I've done. But what did I do? I spent 4 years in a demo, 4 more years in a demo account, writing more simulation code, reading more books, and watching stupid friggin' videos where people are talking about Bollinger Bands, and fundamental analysis, and technical stuff. But I was trading in that demo account, and I was realizing 15% net profit on a monthly basis for long runs a month. I go 6-8 months where I was averaging 15% a month. And there were periods when I'd be 3-4% a month, 5% a month, but there were several stretches of 6 months or more where I was running 15%. I thought I had it. I got this. And I got into the real market with a $40,000 live account because I had been practicing in a demo account with $40,000. You don't trade in a demo account with a $50,000 account and then go in and trade with a couple of mini lots, right? You trade in the demo account to learn the mechanics of trading, to get used to trading at that lot size value, and then you open your lot with that same amount. Well, I had done some live trading before with the minis, so the practice with the $40,000 demo account size was just natural for me then to go in and open a $40,000 account. And man, I lost it, gone. I ended up with about $5,000 left in my account. I funded the account with $45,000 or $50,000. And I looked at it and I said, look, I've done all this study, I've done all this research, what's wrong here? But you notice I didn't whine about it. I didn't quit. And I spent way too much time coming up to speed for something as simple as I determined that the currency market was. But I kept trying. I was persistent. And as soon as I said, wait a minute, I'm pretty smart. I've done all the work. I've done all the study. I've read the books. I've watched all these videos. Hundreds of hours of videos watched. And took a couple of courses. I said, why am I not getting this? I'm not stupid. But the statistics are and were at that time, 90% of the traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. That came out of a study by a large FOREX retail brokerage outfit, 43 million transactions, 25,000 customers. 90% of the traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. Well, it didn't stop me. Well, I just didn't understand why, when I did all that work and all that study and all that education, that I failed. What's the secret sauce? Well, I knew first off that there was no secret sauce, because if there was, I'd have found it and figured it out. And all these videos and stuff, oh, this is the way you do it. You do this golden cross thing when the short MA crosses over the long MA, you buy, sell, whatever it is that you're going to do. You use Bollinger Bands and fib numbers, or you try it all. And they weren't successful. The guys that were preaching were guys that were trading at 200 to 1 leverage, probably got lucky on a $10,000 or $20,000 account. And at 200 to 1 on a $10,000 account, you do the math, trading 20 full lots, $200 a pip. You hit the statistical 6 losers in a row, you can hit statistical 6 winners in a row or 8 winners in a row, and all of a sudden you got a 6-figure account. Man, now you know how to trade. You're going to get off video on YouTube and teach everybody else how to trade. Really? That's the shit that I was listening to. That's the stuff that you're listening to as well. So when I lost that money, I stepped back from it. And I said, there's something wrong. What is it that's wrong? It's got to be the education. So I threw it all out. I cleared my head of it, and I started over. Now, my advantage in that, and the way I was able to do it, was I had a 33-year career as a senior software engineer developing complex business applications where you have to understand how to break complexity up into tiny little chunks that are solvable and resolvable. And then after you build all those chunks, you got to make sure they communicate with each other. You tie them together in a proper chronological order. And then you've got your application. Well, I looked at the currency market and I said, what is the currency market? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Maybe none of you have asked yourself that question. But that was the first question. What is this currency market? What drives it? Order flow. And what drives the order flow? The economies of the 2 pair countries. Great. And what manages or drives the economy of those 2 countries? It's the interest rate, national interest rate, the Fed interest rate differential between those 2 countries. Because that indicates the health of their economy. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all I needed to know. The only other thing that you need to understand is how to run your trading platform, how not to make a market order when you really wanted to do a limit, and maybe how to lay out some trend lines and how to that's what you use the demo account for, how you manage the platform that you're going to be placing your trades on. And then you trade a little bit for a while, not to make money, but to understand how the process of you interacting with a live market is going to be when you finally put your money up. So I looked at that market and those key characteristics of how I saw what that market was. That's the problem. Or in software engineering, what we call the problem domain. Those issues. What is the currency market? You know, what's order flow and that. And I looked at that and I go, that's just a problem. So it's got to have a solution. So on a small piece of paper, in about 15 minutes, I figured it out. I immediately went back in with the $5,000 left in my account and started trading 1 mini at a buck a point, just to make sure that the general idea of the flow made sense to me. I did that for about a week. I might have been trading 2 minis at the time, just experimenting with it, and did really well with it. Go, this is just stupid simple. I started trading the full 5 minis and just about doubled that account in 4.5 months. I was a couple of $100 short, and I said, I'm confident. I feel comfortable trading now. The same way I felt at that point, I felt the same way that I felt when I was learning how to drive and finally was able to carry on a conversation and drive and enjoy the drive. I enjoyed the trading. If you're not enjoying the trading, then you haven't figured out how to trade yet. And that's my job as a mentor, is to work with people who finally figure that out and admit it. I get a lot of people that email me and they're looking for the secret settings on the Bollinger Bands as to their secret to success. Why can't I show my live trading? And why can't I prove through my stuff? It's not about me. It's about you. If I don't make enough sense to you that I know what I'm doing, don't ask me about courses and mentoring and all the rest of it. Because I have nothing to prove to anybody. I'm not trading for you. I'm trading for me. I'm trading to make money for me, not for you. If you want to learn how to do it, I expect that you're going to listen. When you go into a high school class or a math class or a college history class, you're not arguing with the history teacher about how history unfolded. You sit there and shut up and learn. And then after you've read enough history, you can say, oh, I begin to understand how the economic conditions and the political conditions of the time drove the art and the politics, furthered the writing, the literature, all that stuff, how that all evolved from the conditions at the time during that period of history. And the Romantic period in literature, guess what that was? Or the Industrial Revolution. What went on there? Then you can start making conclusions, and then history becomes a joy. I didn't understand that when I was in college. I hated history. I took it because I had to. And when I graduated from college and I moved out here to New Hampshire, I started in graduate school in physics. It took me a very short time to say, I just don't have the grapes for that. So the only other thing I was good at is I opened a karate school. I had an afternoon class and evening classes. I had time. And so I would work out several hours a day of my own and then teach my classes and stuff, but I had a lot of hours available to me. And I started studying business and finance. And I started studying history because I thought, because of my martial arts background, I understood the importance of understanding all the diverse things that were out there in nature. You got to understand the difference between a good steak and a bad steak, a good baseball pitch and a bad one, how to sail a boat, how to, I don't know, how to do everything. And the great philosopher Santayana said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. So I started a study of Western civilization, the history and sociology of the development of Western civilization. I'll bet I've read more books on that than somebody who's got to a master's degree level in history, specifically just on Western civilization. So I know how to study. I know how to put things together. I know the importance of looking at what you're working in your life for is to be comfortable with what you're doing so you can enjoy what you're doing. If you're in a job that you don't enjoy, you're not going to do a very good job. You may get paid the money that you need to get paid, but your view of yourself and the life around you suffers. And so and I learned that from history, studying history. So if you're trading and you're not enjoying it, and you're whining about it, you're not going to get good at it. And if you've done the amount of work and study that I have, and you're still not successful, then you haven't figured out what the key is. So then you need to go and find somebody to help you, whether that's just to act as a consultant for you, or to take a course so that you get the full build out of the plan. It was simple for me to figure out, and I can explain it simply for someone, but it isn't like I'm going to open a can of beans and pour them into a pot and it's done, and now you know how to fix a can of beans. There's a process that you need to go through, and more often than not, more likely than not, you don't have the technical background that I do, nor have you gone through that process that I went through in order to understand how to unscramble it, and you don't have the skills to unscramble it as quickly as I was able to do it. So if I work with somebody, I start over with them no matter what their skill level is. Because if you're trading a $100,000 or a $200,000 account and you're making 3% a year on it, or 2% a month on it, yeah, you're doing better than you're going to get anywhere else. But is that the amount of money that you want to make on a $100,000 account or a $1,000 account? The potential for the currency market, if you don't know it, is unlimited. And so if you're not achieving the results that you need in order for the risk that you're taking, for example, in real estate, I did real estate for 40 years. I made a damn sight more than 3% a year compounded, 5% a year compounded, more than 10%. I made probably more than 20% a year compounded on many of my investments. But there's a tremendous risk in real estate. You don't want to make 5% a year compounded on something with the risk level that you're taking. I lost $1 million net worth twice in my life due to economic collapse. And that was all the money I had. Net worth gone. I still had assets, but there was no equity in them. They had come down to a break-even level. I made that $1 million back each time, but it took me 10 years each time. I've lost a lot of money in currency trading. I lost $40,000 where I became very comfortable with the trading. Right after I sat back and I took that $5,000 and doubled it, I went, okay, I got it. And I was comfortable with my trading. It didn't make it any easier, but it was simple, and so if you can have a simple plan, you don't mind the hard work, right? You know, if you're going to fix the engine on your car, that's not only very hard to do, but it's very complicated if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, it's simple, but it's still going to be hard to do the actual work. Do you mind the hardness of the work? No, because you know you're going to be successful at it. And so for someone to write to me, I have such compassion for you because you're not having the success that you want to have, whether that's with a $2,000 or $3,000 account, or I've talked to people that are trading a couple of $100,000. If you want to listen to me, you're going to hear things you don't want to hear, like, how about starting over again? I taught karate. I'm still teaching karate. I'm 55 years into it. Started karate in 1968. I've had black belts come into my club. I start them over right at the beginning. You know what starting over is? Here's a broom, sweep my floor. Now I'm going to teach you how to stand. I'm going to teach you how to walk. I'm going to teach you now, I'll teach you the down block. But I already know that. I've got 4 years in. Yeah, but you don't know it the way that I teach you. And if I'm going to build a foundation for you to be successful where you feel you might not be as successful as you are in the training that you already have had for the last 3 to 5 years, then let's start over and build a strong foundation for you so that you can come out way ahead of the game. most of them did not continue to train with me because their egos got in the way. That's the problem with karate. People have too much ego. I've had people save their lives because of the training that I was able to provide for them. You have to have the proper foundation. Once you have the proper foundation and you've tested that with a small account and you're in communication with somebody, a mentor that can help you through that stuff, that's when you'll have that attitude that you have when you finally figured out that you're relaxed in your driving and that you enjoy the driving. Look, if you're losing and you don't really understand why you're losing, you're frustrated. You're not having a good time trading. You're not enjoying the trading process. You have to change that. Changing that is simple. Now, I've got 290 videos, as I said out there. You can learn it all by watching those 290 videos, or 50 of them. The problem is that they're not in the correct sequential order, and they don't go into quite as much detail as I would go into in a seminar or a consulting program or taking one of my courses. It doesn't take long. Once you become comfortable with your trading and you enjoy it and you're making a good return, then you gradually step your way through. I traded 3 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 15, and then by August I was trading 20 lot positions. I don't need the money from the trading. I'm not trading for the money. I'm trading to make $1 million because that would be neat to be able to duplicate what I did in real estate, duplicate that in currency trading. So I'm having fun at it, but you're not having fun at your trading, maybe. We got to change that. So hopefully you'll continue to listen to my videos because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you that confidence to look at your trading in a different way. So don't whine about your trading. Just keep trading and smile. It'll all come out just fine. If you have any questions, throw me an email. I appreciate your comments, but there's just so much I can do in responding in a comment situation. If you'd like some advice on something or how I view something, you need to do that by sending me an email, because I'm not going to broadcast all my thoughts in a friggin' comment so that the whole world can go, oh, I just got some free advice from this guy. Maybe he'll give me a free advice all along. No, I'm not. I'm trying to help you so that those of you that can think for yourselves and have some background can put the pieces together as I'm trying to show you how to do that in my videos, and you'll be successful being able to do that. But for those of you who don't have that background and you need some help, you may need to ask some questions about the different videos that I've done, and I'm happy to do that. I don't want to sell you a course. I don't want to have you spending money on consulting. If you're sending me emails and we're getting to the point where I need to really answer some questions in detail, I'll ask you if you want to do some coursework. But my goal is to say, okay, what is your specific problem? Because a lot of times people will call and they won't know what the problem is. Or they'll send me an email. I don't understand why I'm doing this, but this is what I'm doing. And I can help you see what you're doing wrong. And I'll do that for free. And then you say, oh, okay, let me try that. And then I never hear from them again. Well, some of them I do, and they say, well, thanks for helping me out. But most go, oh, okay, I got it now, I understand it. Because I didn't tell you anything new that you didn't know. I just put it together in a correct order for you and maybe gave you that important when do you do this. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody knows how to do it. Everybody knows how to put trend lines on, and everybody knows what a trend line is and how to put it on. But you don't necessarily know when to react to it. So that's the type of stuff that you may need me in an email, just to send me an email and say, hey, Peter, in video, blah, 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 you're talking about this, that, the other thing. I don't get it. I don't understand what you're saying. And I'll try to help you with that at no charge. I might even get together with you on a video call and see if we can't work through some of those issues. And because I don't want to charge you any money. I don't need your money. I'm a millionaire. I'm retired and I'm having a good time, and I don't need to take my time up teaching people for any amount of money that aren't going to end up enjoying their trading or feel that I was able to help them and they want to argue with me. I don't want to do that. I work with a select few people a year, and I'll help you make that happen. But I'm not going to work with 100 people a year, and they're all looking for hours and hours of consulting time or asking me questions about the course material. I don't need that. I'm not in this for the job. I want to spend a lot of time with a few people. And so do the best that you can in watching the videos, picking out some areas that you have some questions about, and then send me an email. Let me see if I can help you out. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.